amazing. But it looks like the game, it's finally started. We're just in the loading screen here. You know, I kind of wish they would update the Galaxy editor a little bit. You know, so many maps haven't been able to transition over from Brood War just because they promised everything with the Galaxy creator and it just fell short.
Absolutely, and they are working on that because, as a lot of people have said, once you get kind of more into the mature RTS scene, maps are really the new kind of key things. People messing with maps, making small adjustments. But I think this game is just about ready to start. So, Mr. Slicer, I'm going to pass it off to you to introduce those players once this game gets underway.
Oh, Tiger's having a little bit of trouble here. Come on, Tiger, you can do it.
Just that last little bit is all he needs.
I really hope he doesn't drop. That would be so unfortunate. We don't need that, Tiger. Come on, buddy. You got this. You got this. I also need a cough.
Ooh, do not cough into the mic. We do not want to be eardrums blown out. And yes, he is just stuck on that 99%. He is not budging.
BNet 2.0 problems.
Yeah, it's kind of. And there we go. It looks like somebody dropped.
That was the manager from Saga, but we're in the game now on Daedalus Point from Armada Gaming in the red trunks. The Zerg player, Tiger. And in the top left-hand corner, wearing the yellow trunks, Saga City's Protoss player, Sanctuary. Man, I went stupid a little bit there. Sorry about that. Ooh,
no
look.
Big deal.
They got neat little logos on their Nexus and Hatchery. So cool.
That is fantastic.
It's not even on the ground anymore. It's just floating there, just spinning. Be like, oh, yeah.
It's like a little billboard advertising them. I do like the detail that they have on that. That actually looks like a nice high-res image. Real happy that Blizzard put that in. Great stuff.
I'm hoping that this is the Blizzard map, because that would be amazing. I'd love to have a Thunderdog logo just floating above my Nexus all the time. And we actually have a little bit of an old-school pylon from Sanctuary. He's going for a classic wall.
Yep, and I think he's going to put the gateway down and the cybernetics core in the base. Now, when he was up against another Protoss in one of the earlier games, one of the games I reviewed was Sanctuaries, and he really liked to use Phoenix. That was in a PvP, but as they definitely have their use in PvZ, obviously. I expect him to do a little bit of that. We'll have to wait and see, though, as he did add on just one gas at 14, waiting to see if he adds on that other one.
A little bit earlier than standard, Sanctuary is going to have enough gas to start Warp Gate and maybe a Mothership Core, but I think he's going for a more Zealot-central opener here. Probably looking to expand as quickly as possible against the Zerg player. Probably smart to do, as long as you can see the gas timings when the pool's done and see when the natural's thrown down.
Yep, and he's definitely delaying that second gas, not getting that, so he definitely will be looking to expand somewhat quickly as he's going to get up and finish off his wall with a Zealot and the Cybernetics Core, which, there it went.
Ooh, is that a full wall? It's really hard to tell at this angle, but pretty, yeah, that's full wall. Well, good. That little Zealot will be a nice little door. And, well, if you ever have a door rage at you, I mean, a rage Zealot would suck as a door.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh.
I don't think he'd let anyone into his club.
Sorry, you're not Protoss. Get out of here.
Yep, and if you don't leave, I will stab you continuously in the face.
Or you could just be a worker and float right through them. That'd be great, too. Oh, but looking back in the game, Tiger's natural's about 3/4 of the way done. Gas has been taken, only about 30 mines so far. Speed's yet to be started. A Queen is coming up, and there's that quick scout from Tiger on Sanctuary's natural. Sanctuary did go for a 1-gate expand, opting to hold off on Warp Gate and dropping a second gas right now.
And these Zerglings are just gonna be a little bit annoying, but the Zealot will come. No, he's gonna leave the Zealot up there. I thought he might bring it down since he has the Mothership Core, which will be more than enough to clean these up. And it looks like he's going after the probe. Can he get it? Oh, and he does. A little cheap probe kill there.
Oh,
a little bit annoying.
That makes those two Zerglings more than worth it. 50 minerals for 50 minerals, plus scouting information on how far Sanctuary has its natural done. I think that was totally worth it. Now this is something a little wonky here. Sanctuary's going for the close wall, not a full wall on this. Was it quadruple wide ramp?
Pretty much, yes. You're going to need all kinds of force fields to do that, and I think he's thinking he might have a little bit more Zerglings and things like that. That's typically what you want to stop from getting in.
Yes, we have 12 Zerglings coming out from Tiger. Tiger's probably seeing this, and Danny, there's a Baneling nest on the way.
And that typically only means one thing, and we'll have to see. So it looks like Sanctuary is even blocking off up above the minerals, so he's going to force everything to go through the mineral line if he does not continue to wall this up. I'm a little interested in how this is going to work.
Danny, that's going to be horrible. If Sanctuary macros like a master player that he is, and he is, those minerals will be fully saturated, and all those Banelings come waddling in the only hole. This isn't going to end well.
I think he's got 2 sentries there. I hope that he is on point. I want to see whether he uses those pylons to maybe place some buildings right kind of underneath where that mothership core is currently. See what's going to happen. And a lot of Zerglings are coming in, and a couple of force fields.
No force fields. He's actually holding positions on the probes. This allows your Zerglings to actually kill probes that are walking through them as they try to return minerals. But those Zerglings are a little trapped right now, and he's having some trouble controlling them.
Yep, and that is paying for itself so much.
Beautiful,
and great little move there.
fields.
Force fielding that off. Hopefully he doesn't lose the sentry, and he doesn't.
Oh, those are beautiful force fields, Danny.
Good attack. I mean, he killed 9 workers, and their Sanctuary knows something up, and he's going to wall this off entirely.
Oh, the unit's lost already. 825, 850 now for Tiger. And there's 10 Banelings out, but there's no more Zergling support. He used a lot of the force fields, but there's still plenty of force fields to protect these sentries if he's paying attention. There they are. Oh, Sanctuary is just deflecting this Baneling all in, essentially. There's just injects, there's no other hatchery on the way, there's no more drones coming out, just a lot of Zerglings and a few more Banelings being morphed, and there's a forge on the way. Oh,
and we'll have to see how this attack goes. If these Zerglings are trying to get in, and this Baneling bus may prove not to be worth it. He's got a couple, but he's got enough for a time warp. He's got plenty of sentries back behind, ready to force field this off. And he's going to attempt to come in here. Oh, and great move. And he's going to pick off most of them. And nothing is getting through here, Slicer.
No, those Banelings were definitely isolated out. They could not do anything. He was probably better off just like forcing the force fields with a couple of Zerglings and then just detonating his Banelings on one of these 2 pylon walls here, or even better, on the bottom pylon on Sanctuary's wall here and just scooting into the main. Because there's no more Zealot at the front door, or second door.
So we'll have to see how the Zerg player wants to follow up, because he is currently pretty far down in supply. He dedicated a lot to that attack, and the initial 9 probes that he got was great, but that huge follow-up did absolutely nothing. His Overlord is potentially going to be tickled to death, not quite.
Oh, that's surprisingly hallucinated, Phoenix. I mean, it's not like there's a dozen sentries out on the field or not, 10. But that Phoenix saw the 3rd timing from Tiger. Sanctuary's got to be happy. Just oh so happy of a panda.
Yes, 10 minutes, and the Zerg player and just now getting his 3rd, where you got a relatively quick expansion yourself. Always good news, and it looks like he will be researching Blink. A little bit of an interesting choice here, as he has a lot of sentries, so I would have thought he would have maybe gone into more of an immortal sentry type composition, but even so, and cute little force field there to get that queen, and he's going to see what he can do here.
No, during the whole attack, Sanctuary was so focused on defense he couldn't tech, so he's just going to use his gateways to the best of his ability. He did throw down his Twilight Council, and these 3 Banelings, oh! They almost took out all those sentries.
Very well done there, able to isolate himself on the left and bottom side, and he's going after, oh no, and there's too much. The Bailey's got in so deep, he needs to recall out of there immediately, and he just isn't doing it. He's going to lose everything, completely forgetting that recall was an option, and recalls back with just the mothership core. Tiger, they're getting a big break.
Sanctuary totally was so focused on the morphing Banelings, he didn't even think about a little Zergling surround, and everything fell. Minerals lost went from about 700 for Sanctuary to 2,000 for Tiger to 2,800 for Sanctuary and 3,600 for Tiger. And Tiger's still trying to be aggressive with these speedlings because, well, let's face it, Blinkstalker's not so good against Zerglings. Well,
Yes, he is kind of transitioning into kind of an odd. He wants +2 because he sees so many Zerglings. +2 on Stalkers is one of those key upgrades that eliminates the number of shots needed to kill a Zergling. And there's no ground carapace on the way, so those are going to do full damage. Now he's mixing in Immortals as a potential Roach transition. Well, we see Tiger throwing down the Roach Warren currently, so he's going to be very well built for this if he can get that +2 up and goes in right after that.
well, there are 3 more gateways on the way, so we have 6 gateways plus a Robo. I'm pretty sure this is a little bit more economical, but he's going for a super big attack as soon as these gateways finished. And there's the 3rd being thrown down for Sanctuary.
And I think he's actually going to leave the Immortals at home, it looks like, or maybe he just doesn't want them to be shown quite yet, as he's going to start dancing around with just some Blink Stalkers, seeing what he can get done.
He's going to use that Mothership Core to try and blink up into the main base. He has a Hallucinated Phoenix out, which will be useful to see where would be the weak points being. He did see the army and saw all the Banelings and all the Zerglings, but he hasn't seen that Roach Warren yet. I don't even know where that Roach Warren is. Let's find
Down
out.
at his net. Nope. Looks like I missed it. And did
Ooh.
he cancel
He
it?
canceled it. It's not there anymore. There's no more roaches. He might have canceled it when if Sanctuary saw it with the Phoenix, which, I mean, he may have seen those Immortals, and then that's just going to be more Zerglings.
Yes, and if he decides to move out, these Immortals can still be worth it. They do some nice work, and it looks like he's going to go for Baneling drops, and this is going to be very interesting. Tiger gearing up for a big attack here. These Blink Stalkers could prove very worthwhile, though, depending if he targets these Overlords.
Oh, my heart just leapt into my throat, and I just want to scream with joy. Baneling bombs are my favorite strategy in any matchup. And we're about to see a lot of Stalkers try to go down, but that means the Sentries won't get killed by them. Oh, there's the Bane Rain. Oh, the Bane Rain, but the Sentries are still alive. A lot of units are still alive. There's a pretty good blinking by Sanctuary to keep his stuff. Pretty good blinking, pretty good force fields. The Banelings mostly detonated on the Stalkers. The Sentries are even alive still. Oh, Sanctuary is just completely annihilated that army with the greatest of ease. That +2 attack, tearing through those Zerglings, only allowing 3 shots from Stalkers to kill him instead of the normal 4. And with, well, I don't think Immortal died. There's still 4 Immortals out on the field with 3 Sentries to back him up. Danny, can you hear me?
And I'm sorry, Slicer, if you are talking in the middle of this, your microphone is cutting out on my end. According to the stream, it is okay, but it'll be a little bit difficult for me to jump in because during engagements and things, the microphone cuts out entirely. I'm not able to hear you, but hopefully you can take this big attack here that is coming in from Sanctuary, and hopefully we'll get that fixed between the next break as this attack comes in.
Oh, it's just connection issue, but we got more Bane Rain coming in on a fully balled Protoss army. And there's a recall. A couple Banelings got wasted, but, I mean, bulk of that army's safe. The Sentries are all safe. Well, 2 of them. And, Zealots are all safe. The Mortals are still alive. This is working pretty well for Sanctuary.
Yes, absolutely. And the later and later into the game he gets, the better and better that these his units are going to be against, just Ling Bane. It's not the greatest composition late game, especially now that he's got Archons in the mix. And I'm not 100% on this, but hopefully you can clarify, Slicer. I think Archons are pretty good against Ling Bane.
Well, against Ling Bane, they are pretty good, but there are Roaches out on the field now, and while the Roaches may not have a quick attack speed, they do a lot of damage straight up, so... Oh... How many is it? 2? It takes about 10 Roaches to 2-shot an Archon, I think? 350, 360 health.
Yeah, it's
with 18?
a little bit rough there, but those Archons now that are +3 are going to one-shot any Lings, any Banelings, as Tiger is now morphing even more, which is definitely not where he wants his gas going, and now he sees those Archons coming across the map. He is going to be in a little bit of trouble here as Sanctuary has a perfect army composition to counter this.
Those Archons are spread out through that whole army, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, looking for some flanks, and the Immortals are all in between them. Well, here's a good flank by Tiger. The Banelings are pretty much worthless. I mean, they're raining Bane, but it's mostly on the Immortals who are only taking about 10 damage. All the Sentries did die, though, in that engagement, but the whole army from Tiger is dead. No Immortals died, very few Stalkers died, a few Sentries died here and there, but now there's just no production. There's 14 Roaches coming out right now, but that's not even going to be enough to handle 4 Immortals.
Yes, absolutely, and now the drones are falling, and GG is called, and Sanctuary wins the game.
That's Saga City taking up his first